Today, we got a special guest on the show to talk to us about where Bitcoin is heading to. And he's also going to drop us a 10x altcoin that you got to see to believe, and it might just be getting started. We're also going to be talking about some crazy crypto regulations going on right now in the UK. They are trying to ban crypto. So we're going to find out more about that. And we're going to ask the age-old question, do you like your crypto shaken or stirred? Let's go ahead and jump in with Mr. Martini himself. Let's get it. BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap gets you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.io. Hey everybody, we are joined today by the Martini Guy. Pretty provocative stuff over on his channel, if I do say so myself. But he's got a lot to say about the markets. He's been in the markets for a while. He even drives a Lambo. Martini Guy, what's going on?
I'm good, Mr. BitBoy. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Well, let's get right into it because I really got a question I've been dying to ask you for a while now. About 2 years ago, you said that I was a very boring YouTuber and you didn't understand why anybody watched me. Thoughts?
Yes. Well, is that the end of the question, or is that the start of the question?
That's the question. That's it. What, thoughts on that? Are you still vibing with the boring YouTuber?
Yeah, your content has gone far above the level of like everyone else's at this point. You've obviously heavily invested into the studio and everything, and I think it's very impressive, the growth. I mean, just look at your videos from 2 years ago to now.
They were terrible. I admit it. They were terrible. So I did have to, that was a surprise question. I just sprung that one on you. Okay. I've been wanting to ask you that for a while though. But you know, we got to know each other a little bit and, you know, definitely, you know, you're doing good stuff in the crypto space and obviously we're doing stuff over here and it's good to contact other YouTubers and collaborate. But you specifically are in the UK. And there's some kind of like crazy stuff going on over in the UK right now. Actually, like while we're recording this, there's something going on politically with cryptocurrency. You want to fill us in on what's happening there?
Yes, literally just now as we're recording it, the news has come out that a guy called Neil Liversidge has gone to UK Parliament today with a petition saying that we should all ban cryptocurrencies in the UK, which it won't. I mean, all they've got to do in Parliament is debate it. Basically, if you get 100,000 signatures on a document, then you can then take that document to Parliament, of which they've got to then pick it out of a hat, debate it, and then tell everyone that nothing will ever change because this is the UK and little ever does change, especially with the establishment politicians. But for the most part, that is just one end of it here in the UK at the moment. You've got the FCA derivatives ban. I mean, America already banned BitMEX and whatever else over in recent times, and it's, I mean, the most pointless bans. Especially, I don't quite understand it from my perspective. With the being Western countries, you would have thought they would want to regulate and try and grow the markets rather than stifle technology and push it all into the East, and then all that money's flowing over to the East where they're not regulating it and they're letting it grow until it's worth regulating. And I do genuinely believe that the UK and the USA, both when it comes to the derivative standpoint on cryptocurrencies, is, I mean, they're going in completely the wrong direction.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think, you know, we've been seeing different aspects. You know, it's kind of like the UK and the United States. They kind of talk out of both sides of their mouth. You know, they'll be like, oh, we're for this, we want to push this, but then at the same time, you know, people are introducing bills and laws to try to, you know, hold cryptocurrency back and things like that. And so when we're talking about derivatives, you know, we're talking about, you know, BitMEX, ByBit, any of these, you know, leverage trading websites. But the thing is like, anybody trades there anyways. Like, here's the thing.
There's no KYC on the platform, so a ban is literally the most pointless. And they don't even have geo-blocking on these. Well, BitMEX has got geo-blocking now, but a lot of them don't have geo-blocking, so that you don't even need a VPN to access them. And then if they do geo-block it, all you need is a VPN to access them, which makes the ban you're just pushing the problem underground. And I personally don't understand it. I don't think it's a forward-thinking regulatory move at all. I think it's very much a backward step, and you're just pushing the money elsewhere. And also the fact that people won't be reporting the taxes because what they're doing could be considered illicit of some kind. And so you're literally just pushing the problem away. And for me, from my perspective, I don't understand it. And I wish that somebody from Parliament would come out without a finger stuck up their bum and actually talk about it in an honest manner of what they actually think, rather than just towing the government and party line of let's just continue banning everything that could possibly grow into something important. And it will grow, because me and you, we've seen the growth over the past like 3 years. I mean, since 2017, when I was making Superman videos, BitMEX wasn't really even much of a thing back then. It was only derivatives only became a thing when it became a thing about shorting the bear market.
The bear market, yeah, absolutely.
That was how the industry really grew. And so it wasn't people that were losing money on Bitcoin. People were making money by shorting Bitcoin. And it was very safe money at the time to short Bitcoin on any platform, because it just kept going down. And the same thing will happen again. What I don't understand particularly is you can short any financial market in the world at any time in the UK, apart from Bitcoin or Ethereum. Why can you short anything else apart from two very well-established assets? In fact, Bitcoin is what, the 5th largest world currency at this point. If you was to call it a currency, it's like it's bigger than the pound in terms of its circulating. What there is in circulation, or at least that was what I read in the Cointelegraph article. I did have my own personal doubt about that, but it is allegedly, according to Cointelegraph, bigger than the pound, or the 5th world largest currency, if it were a currency. But yeah, for me, I do not understand what is going. Well, I do understand what's going on here, and for me, I've spoken to lawyers literally today. I was on the phone to them on my lunch break, and because we're trying to figure out a way through the derivatives ban, because it's a nightmare, and I just. You know, you can petition 97% of people that wrote in. So they ask for a consultation period before they propose it. Well, when they're proposing a new law, 97% of people that wrote in opposed the new law, and yet they went with the 3% of people that liked it. If 97% of people disagree with you, the clue is in the very high number of people that disagree with the new law being proposed, that it shouldn't probably go through. And yet it did. And so now we're stuck with that here in the UK until we have a change of government and a change of heart.
Well, it's and let me tell you, a change of government can be pretty rough too, because that's what we're going through over here in the United States. But you know, and something a lot of people don't realize, I think, is these bans. These are bans on the companies. These are not bans on people. So you're not getting in trouble, you know, if you're using a VPN. It's on the company if they are allowing you through using VPN or whatever to use their service. So just something to keep in mind, guys. Remember this: in the United States, you know, we'll just take this statement as face value, is what it is. The SEC is here to protect you as an investor, not the companies. So just remember that. The SEC. That's
exactly right. You can again legally use him. I use ByBit here in the UK still, despite it being banned, and I'm quite happy to admit that, because within their regulation, they quite clearly state that they're not banning legacy customers. If you've already been using them before the ban, you can continue using them after the ban. And even if you're in the USA, there is nothing to stop you accessing these things. These are point of sale regulations. Right. Same goes in the USA. And because it's a point of sale regulation, it means that you can participate on it, but basically you're not insured. There's no comeback off the back of it.
You're going to be able to sue them if you lose money.
Yeah, because, well, they're not for the most part. They're all based in China anyway. So good luck.
So let's move on. Let's talk about Bitcoin. You famously had a long in on BitMEX for Bitcoin from about $3,500 it was? It was
$3,740.
Wow. Yeah, you had and you were able to bump that leverage up to 100x. And somewhere in the middle, you bought a Lambo, right? This guy literally drives a Lambo. I thought about buying one myself, but I went with the Hellcat, American Muscle over here, okay? But so you definitely believe that was a low for Bitcoin. The price was going to go up. You put your money where your mouth is. Where's it heading now? And we can talk a little bit about what happened to your trade, because that's kind of interesting too. But really what the people want to know about is, where is Bitcoin heading to?
Up over time. Cautiously over time. If you buy Bitcoin now, I'm very confident that in 2 years' time, you will have had a significant increase on the value of that in terms of US dollars, because over time, just like today with the stimulus printing, it is going to happen. That's something that we can talk about again in a second. But over time, there will become more money in supply, and that money, the demand for that money will fall because there is excess money printing. And I do genuinely think that Bitcoin stands a very high chance of hitting $100,000 this year, despite the volatility on the markets today. I mean, just today, as we're filming it right now, Bitcoin's price has dipped from, what was it, $37,000 all the way down to $34,300, and then it's bounced back. The reason why Bitcoin keeps bouncing back quite significantly, I mean, it's bounced about $3,000 at this point, is because demand, like, there is a lot of demand. Grayscale 2 days ago bought another 2,170 Bitcoin. these things are not going to stop just because the price is moving. They will continue doing, because the institutions, they're like slow turning machines. And if you imagine trying to stop a train, you can't stop a train with just your hands or just by willing it, by looking at a chart. It doesn't work like that. The train keeps going because it's a very heavy piece of machinery, and it never really stops because it's got that momentum behind it at this point. That's essentially what Bitcoin is. It's a train just bashing through the traditional institutions from my viewpoint anyway, and it's working its way into society. It's like, well, I guess it's doing just as good a job as the virus that's infecting the world at the moment. It's being very successful in terms of its adoption over the past year, and I don't see that slowing down anytime soon, because we've not seen the astronomical price gain that we saw from 2016 to 2017. We've not even peaked into a euphoric bull market yet with the Nupal indicator that Ivan was showing me this morning. It's
a very interesting indicator, isn't it? I've been watching that. I think it's crazy.
I'm going to bring it up in today's video because I've not even mentioned that yet.
Yeah, I think that's super, super interesting. And you know, I definitely feel like we're not, it's so weird. It's like when you're in the world of cryptocurrency every day, like I feel like we have this like super closely guarded secret that other people don't have. Like, this is why when somebody's watching like on my TikTok account, I get these comments like, how do you know it's going to go up and blah, blah, blah. It's like, because I know, like, because we know what the cycles are. Like, we see the history, we know where we're at in the cycle, we know where we're heading to. The only thing some people differ on is like, is it going to 100K? Is it going to 300K? Is it going higher? And, there's a lot of different places it can go, but it's going up. Like, we see all the stuff that's happening, and the rest of the world just has these blinders on that this is the next generation of money being, propagated as we speak. So,
I want to your point there. I want to add to your point there and say that we are in this parabolic series of growth right now, but we see the market cycles. We've been here for such a long time at this point that you're able to go, right, well, there is something's going to happen at this point. I can do it, like, I don't know how. This year, I've become an insane trader because we're just so in tune with the markets, and I'm sure that you're very much the same in that respect. I can call it. I just keep calling it. I've not had a bad call in months, and I just feel like it's just so predictable at the moment. And things will change. Things always change, but for the most part, at the moment, I think for any YouTuber that's been around for quite a long time, because you've been doing it every single day, you're able to spot these surges in growth. And we see more metrics than anyone else because we have YouTube channels. You see the views going up and down. You see more people subscribing, less people subscribing. These are all indicators that we can use as well, on top of just trading with normal indicators, using various different tools and stuff that you can use when trading.
Yeah, I mean, that's just being immersed in this market. And, we started this video off, this interview, talking about how I used to be a boring YouTuber, and my quality wasn't the best in the videos I was making a few years ago, but I just kept making them. And you made the joke, I've been making 3 videos a day since 1984. Maybe that was before we went on air. I'm making a lot of videos. And when you're just immersed in this market, like nonstop for years, like you really just understand it. And other people look at it and they're clueless. And that's why all my friends and family are in crypto, because they've heard all these speeches and they've seen all this. And you touched on about the stimulus. I think you said you wanted to come back to that. What's been really interesting for me is seeing that it's not the promise of having a fancy lifestyle or driving a green Lambo like you do. That's not the thing that has got my family and friends invested in cryptocurrency. It's actually seeing the money printing. And then finally now they're like understanding what's happening. Is that kind of something similar to what you've seen?
Yes, I want to point out quickly though, I don't really drive the car very often.
Oh, you don't?
I don't live a fancy lifestyle. I'm wearing currently a £10 t-shirt, and I don't really have anything designed. I don't spend my money. I'm very much, I think, like a lot of people in cryptocurrency, I'm all about wealth storage rather than wealth spendage. I don't gain any kind of joy from spending large amounts of money. It's not really my cup of tea. I'd rather increase the value and the wealth of my family and the people that have helped me get to where I am at the moment, and those people that have supported you around that kind of journey. I feel like there's a lot more to be gained in that sense than any kind of material possession. Material possessions are nice, don't get me wrong. A Lamborghini is a nice thing. It's not something that you should ever lust after. They're expensive to maintain, they're expensive to use. Every time I go out, I've got to put £100 worth of fuel in the thing because it does 5 miles to gallon, and my insurance for it is above £10,000 for a year. So it's not exactly a cheap thing to own and use. It's a complete waste of money, and I never drive it. I've forgotten what your question was. I just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah, well, I love that Lambo. I mean, I love that thing. No, you bought it used, so it's not like brand new. You didn't spend like multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars on it and stuff like that. So I appreciate you making that distinction. But I think it's cool. I love Lambo. I live in a neighborhood, and I just don't want to be driving the Lambo in the neighborhood. Okay,
Yeah,
I might have.
well, I don't. I live in the city, and I can tell you that a green Lamborghini attracts a lot of attention, no matter where you go, and it won't be green for much longer. For that very one reason, I made it green because I wanted a green Lamborghini. I didn't realize that everybody else would then point and take pictures and treat you like a celebrity in the car. It's not my thing. I'm not that guy. I like to stay under the radar, so it's going stealth. It's gonna go black.
I like it. Yeah, I got the undercover fancy car, the Hellcat, the red eye wide body. It's American muscle. Okay,
I love those things.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Oh man, it's 800 horsepower. It's killer. But here's the question though. The question was, from my experience, the thing that's really gotten people that I know more into cryptocurrency and excited about it is the money printing. Like it helps them put everything together when it comes to, trying to understand why cryptocurrency is needed and why the scarcity and rarity and actual backing of Bitcoin is important. Have you seen that from people that that they've been more willing to buy in because of this pandemic and things they've seen with the money printing and how the government really has no idea what they're doing when it comes to controlling currency?
I think that the best example that I've seen that's brought people on board with it is the fact that the first stimulus check is now worth about $9,000. Yeah. That is an absolute killer example of a perfect example of how badly depreciated the US dollar is becoming. I mean, against the US back, so the US currency has lost about 30% of its value this year against the Europeans. That's just against Europe. You can buy 30% less things in Europe now. That's massive. It's a scary statistic, is that? And you can buy 10% less things in your own country because you've lost 10% of your buying power against yourself because the DXY has dropped 10% this year. And then they're continuing to print more money with this 1.9. We're going to discuss this again on the video that we do on my channel, but it's important to understand this money print, it doesn't stop. This is a continuous thing because people aren't working, they're not being productive, and so because there's a lot more people that are being less productive members of society, you've got to support them in some way. You can't just let them starve, and so this is something that's not going to just stop in the medium term. This is going to last years, is this kind of phase of growth, and we're going to enter, in my opinion, into a hyperinflation economy like we saw in like the 1980s.
2 years from now, I think. I think I suspect 2 years from now, basically once, the vaccine is handed out to everybody and, we go back to some semblance of normal and people are going to look up and be like, wait, there's not going to be a normal again. This is going to be different. All these businesses are closed, especially in California, New York. I mean, these people are really, really, really struggling out there. I'm fortunate enough to live in Atlanta, to live here in Georgia where, we believe in the Second Amendment and we believe in no masks. I mean, that's the general idea that people around here have. And we've been getting along just fine. Businesses open and living life. And you got the country or the states that are the most shut down, having the biggest problems and the businesses closed. And we just believe here that there's like more to life than just, staying protected from something that's got a 99.5% survival rate. The long-term repercussions of the businesses, being closed is just so massive on our economy. And once everybody looks up and it's like, wait, we're back to normal. There's no new normal or there's no regular normal. We got to have a new normal where like all these zombie companies are closed down. It's going to be a rude awakening for people. So go ahead.
It's a 10-year thing. It's just like the last financial crisis because we've not even had the housing crisis yet. That's going to happen yet. Right. People can't afford to pay the mortgages. How many people out there are defaulting on loans at the moment? It must be sky high. I've not checked the figures, but I know that your unemployment data in the USA is insane. And
we hide those numbers. We, in the United States, we constantly change the metric. The number's actually way higher than they show.
Yeah, it's scary. That's the way that I would describe it. I think it's that fear actually that is driving Bitcoin adoption. Is to answer your question completely. It's that fear that we've got such incompetence at the top, and it's a scary thing.
It is very scary. Well, speaking of things that are not scary, last thing I want to ask you about, just one altcoin. Can you give me one altcoin for my audience that they should be watching that has, 100x potential or 10x potential? Just tell me, what you're looking at right now and what they might could, gain by maybe jumping into it.
Poker Starter. If I had to pick one, it'd be Poker Starter.
Okay.
Because it's sitting at about a $50 million market cap at the moment. And it's by far the most popular decentralized exchange offering platform. They're launching new projects all the time. They're gaining interest, and I look for projects specifically that gain momentum as time goes on. We've seen it with the likes of Chainlink. Chainlink gained momentum as time went on. It started off at like a 30 million market cap, and today it's $20 a coin. Don't know if it's still there, like with the dump that's been happening so far today, but we see it. So I look specifically for adoption-based coins that bring in more and more people. And if I was to pick one, it would be split between Swissborg and Poker Starter, but I'd probably go for Poker Starter as kind of like a 10x. I'd expect that coin over the course of the next altcoin bull run to hit $10 per coin. It is currently sitting at $1 per coin.
Nice.
And I think that at $10 per coin, that'd put it at $500 million market cap. It would make it the biggest decentralized exchange offering platform, and it's got really good token utility. So that would be my answer to that question.
Awesome. Yeah, people are definitely bullish on DOT and on Polkadot in general, and in their ecosystem. We're only going to see expand over this full run.
Anything Polkadot at the moment is growing because Ethereum is just so congested.
Absolutely. And big problems with Ethereum in terms of the congestion. I don't think that's going to lead to a problem with the speculation over the cost of Ethereum on this bull run, but maybe on the next one, we might be able to see some things catch it. So Martini Guy, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to drop links down below for, where everybody can go follow you at. Make sure to go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's got a lot of useful trading information and things like that. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that's all I got. Be blessed. Good boy out.